10 Stoic Secrets to Overcoming Adversity and Move On. There is a Stoic saying, strong minds suffer without complaining, and weak minds complain without suffering. Suffering is an inevitable part of the human experience. The question, then, is not whether one will encounter suffering, but how one chooses to respond to it. Choosing to complain about one's circumstances is an approach that, far from alleviating suffering, actually intensifies it. Imagine how your life changes when, instead of complaining, you choose to be resilient and courageous. This is why the Stoics endured suffering with grace, because the most enduring virtues are forged in pain and suffering. Enduring suffering without complaining is not just a way to cope with it. It is a way to become stronger, wiser, and more powerful. It is the art of turning pain into strength and trials into sources of wisdom and inner power. Now, we dive into the world of Stoicism to uncover the secrets that will help you face any of life's challenges with grace and strength. First, perception and inner strength. In the theatre of life, where outer and inner worlds collide, we often find ourselves caught in the drama of attachments and emotions. The Stoic philosophers, with their deep understanding of human nature, teach us that the essence of our suffering lies not in the events themselves, but in our perception of them. Marcus Aurelius, whose wisdom is timeless, illuminates this path with his statement, "If something external makes you sad, the pain is caused not by the thing itself, but by your evaluation of it, which you can reverse at any moment." This statement is not simply a call for passive acceptance, but a powerful declaration of autonomy over our inner state. To navigate the stormy seas of relationships and the inevitable loss of loved ones, we must first root in the understanding that our perceptions shape our reality. The pain of loss, the reproach of betrayal, and the shadow of loneliness are, in essence, a reflection of our internal dialogue. By shifting our perspective, choosing to see the lessons in loss and the growth in grief, we change our attitude toward these events. This transformation is not a denial of pain, but an acceptance of it as a catalyst for growth. Aurelius teaches us to look within ourselves, to find strength in our abilities, to restructure our perceptions, to distance ourselves from external factors that we cannot control, and to find solace in the strength of our minds. In this lesson, we are encouraged to practice the art of perception, to question the narratives we weave around our attachments and emotions. It is in questioning that we find liberation. By adopting a Stoic approach to our internal narratives, we cultivate resilience and immunity to the vicissitudes of life. This steadfastness does not make us unemotional, but it does give us the wisdom to experience our emotions without being enslaved by them. It reminds us that deep within our beings is an indomitable power, the power to choose our reactions, to choose our thoughts, and to choose the calm of our inner citadel over the chaos of the outer world. Through this Stoic lens, we begin to see that letting go is not about breaking ties or erasing memories, but about transforming our relationship with emotions and attachments. It is an alchemical process that turns the leaden weight of loss into the gold of wisdom. As we delve deeper into Stoic teaching, let us carry this lesson with us as a beacon of light, guiding us through the darkness, reminding us that the key to freedom is not in changing circumstances, but in changing ourselves. Second, rationality in the face of emotion. In the grand narrative of our lives, the tension between reason and emotion plays out on the stage of our consciousness, often dictating the course of our relationships and how we experience the loss of loved ones. Stoicism, with its emphasis on rationality, offers a counterweight to the turbulent sea of emotions that can sometimes overwhelm us. Marcus Aurelius, the beacon of Stoic thought, urges us to use reason as a guiding light, surfacing the storm with calm and confidence. It is through reason that we discern the nature of our attachments, separating what is within our control from what lies beyond it. This lesson is about the transformative power of rationality, allowing us to meet our deepest emotions and the reality of loss with equanimity and grace. Rationality, in the Stoic sense, is not the suppression of emotion, but the harmonization of emotion and thought. It is the practice of examining your feelings critically, questioning the validity of your immediate reactions, and considering the larger perspective. When we face the pain of a breakup or the grief of losing a loved one, our first instinct may be despair or anger. However, by taking a rational approach, we begin to see these experiences as not just a source of suffering, but an opportunity for growth and understanding. Aurelius teaches us to ask ourselves, is this something I can do? This simple question helps us to focus our energy on our reaction to the loss, rather than on the loss itself. It is a profound shift that moves us from a state of victimhood to a state of self-empowerment, enabling us to navigate the emotional landscape with wisdom and purpose. Cultivating rationality in the midst of emotional turmoil, a deliberate and often difficult process. It requires that we pause, breathe, and connect with our thoughts and emotions from a place of mindfulness. It is a practice akin to tending a garden, where rationality is a tool with which we prune the thickets of irrational thoughts and plant the seeds of peace and acceptance. When we contemplate the impermanence of relationships and the inevitability of loss, rationality helps us to accept these truths not with resignation, but with a sincere understanding of the natural order of life. It teaches us to cherish the moments we have with loved ones, to let them go with love rather than bitterness, and to find peace in the knowledge that our capacity for love and connection is not diminished by loss, but enriched by it. Through the prism of rationality, we learn to see each ending as part of the beautiful cyclical nature of existence, which promotes deep and lasting peace in the sanctuary of our own minds. Third, the Stoic virtue of acceptance. In the complex web of human existence, acceptance is a pillar of Stoic philosophy, offering a serene way through trials, losses, and the intricacies of relationships. The Stoics, with their deep understanding of the nature of life, advocate a deep acceptance of that which is beyond our control. This lesson explores the Stoic virtue of acceptance, not as a passive resignation, but as an active acceptance of life's ebbs and flows. By understanding and practicing this principle, we can approach the loss of relationships and the inevitable changes in our lives with a calm heart and a clear mind, finding strength in surrender and wisdom in recognizing the impermanence of life. The essence of Stoic acceptance is recognizing the impermanent nature of all things, including our relationships and the people we hold dear. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, you may be leaving this life right now. Let that determine what you do, say, and think. This poignant reflection on mortality encourages us to live with the intention of cherishing each moment and each connection, knowing that they may be short-lived. When we face the end of a relationship or the loss of a loved one, acceptance allows us to let go with grace, honoring the fleeting beauty of our shared experience rather than clinging to it with despair. This practice does not diminish our capacity for love or joy. On the contrary, it deepens our gratitude for them, making each encounter more meaningful and each memory a treasure. The path to Stoic acceptance is the path to inner peace. It teaches us to distinguish between what we can control, our actions, our reactions, our relationships, and what we cannot control, the actions of others. The passage of time, the inevitability of death. By focusing our energy on our own sphere of influence, we develop a sense of equanimity in the face of life's uncertainties. Acceptance becomes a source of strength, enabling us to face adversity with a calm mind and a steadfast spirit. It allows us to experience the full range of human emotions: grief, sadness, joy, love, without being overwhelmed by them. By accepting ourselves, we gain a profound freedom, the freedom to live fully in the present, to love without attachment, and to navigate life's complexities with a wise and open heart. If you found this content useful, please feel free to share it with your friends and family. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel so you don't miss out on more exciting and educational videos in the future. Fourth, the Stoic approach to facing adversity. Adversity is an inevitable part of human existence. It challenges our resolve and tests our strength. Stoicism teaches us to face these trials with courage and wisdom, turning obstacles into opportunities for growth. The Stoic principle of turning obstacles into advantages becomes especially important when we are faced with the loss of a relationship and navigating the turbulent waters of emotional upheaval. Marcus Aurelius famously stated, "The obstacle to action is the promoter of action. The path becomes the path." This way of thinking encourages us to view each difficulty not as an obstacle to happiness or success, but as an opportunity to practice resilience, patience, and endurance. By adopting this perspective, we learn to accept the uncertainties and difficulties inherent in life, and to use our difficulties as stepping stones to develop a deeper sense of self-confidence and inner strength. This approach does not minimize the pain or difficulties of our experience, but rather views them as important components of our personal and spiritual development, cultivating resilience in the face of loss. The loss of a loved one or the end of a cherished relationship can be among the most profound trials we face. However, in this realm of suffering, Stoicism offers a beacon of hope. It teaches us that while we cannot control external events, we can manage our reactions to them. This awareness allows us to approach grief and loss in a balanced way, acknowledging our pain and gradually finding ways to integrate the lessons learned into our lives. Stoic resilience is not about suppressing emotions, but about allowing ourselves to feel deeply, while remembering that we have the strength to endure. Through adversity, we develop an indomitable spirit, prepared for the vicissitudes of life and able to find peace in the midst of upheaval. Through the Stoic practice of facing adversity with courage and wisdom, we not only overcome the obstacles that come our way, but we emerge from them enriched and inspired. This lesson of Stoicism reminds us that our greatest trials can lead to our deepest growth, forming within us personalities of depth, compassion, and resilience. Fifth, cultivating virtue in daily life. Virtue is the cornerstone of Stoic philosophy. It is the beacon that guides us through the complexities of life. In cultivating virtues such as wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance, we find true satisfaction and resilience. Wisdom in Stoicism is not simply the accumulation of knowledge, but the application of rational thinking to daily life. It involves discernment in choosing actions that are in harmony with nature and our own best selves. In the realm of relationships and personal loss, wisdom teaches us to approach these experiences with a mind aimed at learning and growth. It teaches us to ask, "What can this situation teach me?" rather than "Why is this happening to me?" By viewing problems as lessons, we open ourselves to the transformative power of wisdom. This shift in perspective allows us to face life's challenges with a sense of purpose and to make choices that reflect our highest principles. Wisdom also enables us to recognize the transitory nature of emotions and attachments, allowing us to cherish the moments and relationships we have without clinging to them out of fear or desire. Courage in Stoicism goes beyond facing physical dangers. It includes the moral courage to stand up for one's beliefs even in the face of adversity or social pressure. It means having the courage to let go of relationships that no longer serve us or to face the pain of loss without losing the capacity for joy and love. This virtue is closely related to temperance, which calls for moderation in all aspects of life. Together, courage and temperance help us live with integrity, making choices that are consistent with our values, rather than giving in to fleeting desires or avoiding discomfort. Temperance teaches us to find balance in our emotions, to experience them fully without being overwhelmed by them. It encourages us to practice self-control in our reactions, to respond to life's ups and downs with equanimity. By cultivating these virtues, we not only improve our own well-being, but also promote the harmony and well-being of those around us. Sixth, letting go of attachments in Stoicism. Stoicism teaches the art of detachment, helping us let go of attachments to external outcomes and possessions. In this lesson, we will look at the Stoic approach to letting go of attachments to things we cannot control, focusing instead on our inner virtue and fortitude. The Stoic practice of detachment is not about indifference or suppression of desires, but about recognizing the impermanence of external goods and relationships. Stoics such as Epictetus emphasize the importance of distinguishing between what we can control, our thoughts, intentions, and actions, and what we cannot, such as the behavior of other people, material possessions, and even our own lives. By learning this distinction, we learn to invest our energy and emotions more wisely, cultivating a state of inner peace and contentment that is not easily disturbed by external circumstances. This form of detachment allows us to approach life's difficulties and losses with equanimity, accepting the ebb and flow of existence without becoming enslaved to our desires to obtain a specific outcome. It teaches us to cherish and appreciate what we have, but to be willing to let it go when the time comes, finding freedom in embracing change. Bringing Stoic detachment into our daily lives involves making a conscious effort to reevaluate our attachments and the value we place on external things. It requires awareness and a willingness to question our automatic reactions and assumptions about what is necessary for our happiness. This practice can begin with small steps, such as reflecting on our dependence on material comforts or our reactions to praise and criticism. Gradually, by challenging these attachments, we begin to loosen their hold on us, opening the door to a more peaceful and liberated existence. Moreover, Stoic detachment encourages us to focus on our personal growth and the cultivation of virtue, which are the true sources of true satisfaction. By letting go of attachment to the external, we build a solid foundation of character that can withstand life's uncertainties. Through detachment, we achieve a greater sense of gratitude and presence, fully engaging with life as it unfolds moment by moment, freeing ourselves from the burden of clinging to things that are ultimately beyond our control. Letting go of attachments, Stoicism teaches, opens the way to inner freedom and resilience. By practicing detachment, we align ourselves with the natural order of things in the world, accepting change and impermanence with grace. This lesson encourages us to find strength in our virtues and to live with an open heart, ready for whatever life brings. 7th, Stoicism for grief and letting go. Stoicism provides a powerful framework for dealing with grief and the process of letting go. This lesson explores how Stoic principles can guide us through the pain of loss and the difficulty of resolution, promoting healing and inner peace. Grief, a natural response to loss, can be overwhelming, leaving us disconnected and vulnerable. Stoicism teaches us to accept grief as part of the human experience, encouraging a compassionate and mindful approach to our suffering. Stoic wisdom, espoused by philosophers such as Seneca, emphasizes the importance of confronting our emotions head-on, acknowledging the pain of loss, and reminding us of the impermanence of all things. Such acceptance does not mean suppressing feelings, but rather allowing us to experience grief without letting it define us. Stoics advocate a balanced view of attachment and loss, understanding that while love and connection enrich our lives, our ultimate happiness should not depend on external factors. By adopting this perspective, we can mourn the loss of a loved one or the end of a relationship while maintaining a sense of calm and resilience. Stoicism teaches us to form attachments wisely, to value the people and things in our lives without becoming overly dependent on them for happiness. This perspective helps us endure the pain of separation or loss by supporting us in the knowledge that our essence, our capacity for virtue, reason, and choice remains intact, regardless of external changes. The practice of letting go is also a practice of gratitude. By focusing on the present and cherishing our experiences without clinging to them, we cultivate a sense of contentment and gratitude. Stoic mindfulness exercises, such as reflecting on the transitory nature of existence and imagining the loss of something we hold dear, can strengthen our emotional resilience, preparing us to face loss with courage and let it go with grace. Adopting Stoic principles in the face of grief and attachment challenges us to find strength within ourselves, recognizing that our capacity for joy, love, and peace does not depend on external circumstances. As we continue to study Stoicism, we carry with us the lessons of overcoming grief and letting go of attachments, fostering a life marked by deep emotional resilience and profound gratitude for the present moment. 8th, the virtue of temperance in Stoicism. Temperance, one of the 4 cardinal virtues of Stoicism, teaches us the value of self-restraint and moderation in all aspects of life. In this lesson, we will look at how the practice of temperance can help us maintain balance and harmony, especially in the context of letting go of attachments and managing our desires. Temperance in Stoicism is not just about controlling physical appetites. It extends to a balanced approach to our emotions and desires. Stoics believe that excess in joy, anger, or desire can disturb our inner peace and cloud our judgment. By practicing temperance, we learn to value the golden mean, finding satisfaction in simplicity and restraint. This virtue teaches us to question the necessity and value of our desires, distinguishing between what is necessary for a virtuous life and what is unnecessary. In the area of attachment, temperance helps us form healthy, balanced relationships, free from dependency and excessive emotional investment. It encourages us to enjoy life's pleasures without becoming enslaved to them, thereby strengthening our resilience to pain, loss, or fear of missing out. The application of temperance is especially powerful when it comes to letting go of attachments, whether to people, results, or material possessions. By cultivating a temperate approach to attachments, we prepare for the inevitability of change, reducing the intensity of grief and disappointment when separation occurs. Temperance helps us see the impermanence of external conditions and the importance of basing our happiness on our inner state and virtues, rather than on external acquisitions or relationships. This Stoic virtue also helps us cope with grief, as it teaches us to accept loss with grace and to find peace in the understanding that everything in life is temporary. Through temperance, we learn to let go of attachment to the ephemeral, directing our attention and energy to personal growth, ethical observance, and the pursuit of wisdom. 9th, Stoic acceptance of change. Change is an immutable law of the universe, a principle that Stoicism teaches us not only to accept, but to welcome. In this lesson, we will explore the Stoic view of change and how this acceptance can lead to a more sustainable and fulfilling life. Stoicism, drawing on the wisdom of thinkers such as Marcus Aurelius, teaches that change is not only inevitable, but is a natural and essential part of the functioning of the cosmos. Understanding and accepting change as a fundamental aspect of existence allows us to approach life's transitions with a sense of calm and readiness. This Stoic acceptance goes beyond mere resignation. It is an active participation in life, recognizing that change brings both endings and beginnings, losses and opportunities. By accepting the idea that nothing is permanent, we learn to appreciate the present moment more deeply and let go of attachments to specific outcomes. This perspective fosters flexibility of mind and spirit, allowing us to gracefully adapt to new circumstances and find peace amid life's uncertainties. A Stoic approach to change also encourages us to view each change in our lives as an opportunity for personal growth. Change forces us to grow, to test our virtues and resilience. It teaches us that our true strength lies not in trying to control the external world, but in mastering our internal reactions to it. Stoicism advocates using change as a catalyst for self-improvement, encouraging us to ask ourselves, what lessons can we learn and how can we become stronger from each experience? This proactive approach to change empowers us to live more consciously, making conscious choices that align with our values and lead us to a life filled with purpose and meaning. By embracing change, we commit to a lifelong commitment to learning and improving in self-knowledge, constantly evolving to become the best version of ourselves. 10th, Stoicism and the pursuit of inner peace. Inner peace, the central goal of Stoic philosophy, is achieved not by external circumstances, but by mastering our thoughts and actions. This final lesson examines how Stoicism helps us cultivate a state of calm and contentment independent of the external fluctuations of life. Cultivating calm through virtue. Stoicism teaches that true peace is found within, through the cultivation of virtue and the practice of reason. By aligning our actions with the principles of wisdom, justice, courage, and temperance, we create the basis for lasting peace. This inner harmony depends not on the presence or absence of external blessings or misfortunes, but on our response to them. Stoics such as Epictetus remind us that our perceptions and judgments are the source of our unrest. By training ourselves to view life's events through the lens of objectivity and virtue, we maintain our composure. This approach allows us to face difficulties with a calm and stable mind, focusing on what we can control and letting go of worrying about what we cannot. Inner peace, according to the Stoics, is a natural consequence of a life lived in accordance with virtue, where every thought and action is guided by reason. Achieving inner peace requires constant reflection and acceptance of life as it is, embracing both its joys and sorrows. Stoicism encourages daily self-reflection, a practice in which we examine our actions and relationships, learning from our successes and failures. This reflective process promotes self-awareness and personal growth, gradually leading us to a more peaceful state of mind. Moreover, Stoic acceptance, amor fati, or love of fate, plays a vital role in cultivating serenity. By accepting everything that life brings us without resistance or bitterness, we find peace in the knowledge that everything happens in accordance with the natural order of the universe. This acceptance is not a passive one, but an active affirmation of life, recognizing that even difficulties have their place in shaping our character and wisdom. As we draw on these Stoic teachings on letting go and overcoming grief, remember that the strength to endure any challenge and the grace to let go are within us. Our journey through loss and detachment is not a path to emptiness, but an invitation to fill our lives with meaningful moments and virtues. Use the wisdom of Stoicism to find peace amidst change, to grow through letting go, and to cultivate a heart that is both resilient and open to the beauty of the present. Let these lessons be your guide, turning each farewell into a step toward inner harmony, and each challenge into a beacon of growth. Thank you for your time in watching this video. We hope that the information provided will give you new life experiences and help you overcome life's adversities with wisdom and ease. If you found this content useful, please feel free to share it with your friends and family. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and don't forget to subscribe to our channel so that you don't miss out on exciting and educational videos in the future. Thanks for your support. We look forward to seeing you in our next videos. Thanks for watching.